Thanks so much for joining us for another edition of our Open Mic program on this Inauguration Day 2021. It's hard to believe it's here, but we do have our guest today is none other than Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin. And Tim, you've been part of many of these inaugurations, and you've been part of D.C. as we see protests every day in D.C. That's nothing new. That's part of America. Tell us a little bit about your past experiences.
Well, you make me sound so old. I was not there when Lincoln was inaugurated. Some people may remember that I was on the Bush-Cheney campaign in 2000, also in 2004. In both instances, I was able to attend inaugural events, festivities. If I remember correctly, one of those was really, really rainy. I can't remember which one that was, 2000 or 2004. I think it was 2004. But in any event, when I was in Congress, in some of the other years, I guess would have been 2008. I was not in Congress, but I did not attend that inaugural. Was not there in 12, I don't believe. So really, those are the main two that I remember. And certainly, there's always heightened security, but this is a whole other level, because I do remember in 2000, people were actually sitting on the Capitol. There were a lot of seats on the Capitol lawn, and that obviously won't be happening this time. That whole area is cordoned off, and obviously there's 25,000 National Guard troops. And look, I think a lot of this is you got to look at the context of what happened on the 6th. A lot of this is to make sure that there was there was an unprepared response on the 6th, and I think that there is an intent to make sure that never happens again. And so they're having far more than you normally would see. It's understandable why.
When you see the president's address or the State of the Union, there's a unbelievable security. It's all different. Capitol Police, the National Guard. You got it all there.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. There's always incredible security, both visible and invisible, to both plainclothes, usually civilian, in plainclothes and civilian in uniform.
And when we see transfer of power, that happens sometimes every 4 to 8 years of the presidential power. Explain what the people can expect in the next 100 days.
Well, look, I think that people who voted for President Trump, such as myself, will see a lot of policies that you disagree with, most likely. And people who voted for Biden Harris will see a lot of the policies they like. And now, just to be clear, that's always the case. When you win, you get to pursue policies that you couldn't otherwise pursue. That's why it's so important that for people in public policy making, and you got to win elections. But look, here's the other thing. There should be quite a bit of stuff that right or left, and that'll probably relate mostly to COVID. You'll see some differences in policies on COVID, but those won't necessarily, from what I have seen, those don't strike me as right or left leaning policies. They really don't fit into the partisan spectrum. They're more of, hey, we want to do it this way to get the vaccine out versus this other way, right? So it's a different way of doing things on some of these issues, but it won't necessarily fall into right versus left, conservative versus liberal. But there will be a lot where you will see complete and utter 180 from where we have been. You'll see progressive policies when previously we had conservative policies. And, as a conservative, obviously, is more reason why we gotta win. We gotta win elections so we can influence policy. But look, we all want what's best for the country, and at least the vast, overwhelming majority do. I'll be watching with great interest to see in the coming days how all these different issues of COVID and other issues, the economy and people out of work and what have you. I'd be real interested to see how all that is juggled. I've seen some of the proposals that have been floated from the Biden administration, and some of them are pretty different than what I would prefer. So it'll be real interesting to see how they shakeout in the Senate, where you still need to get 60 votes. So a lot of Republicans on most issues. So a lot of Republicans will still have a voice there, even though we don't have a majority.
And what do you see as it trickles down to Arkansas for safety for today?
Well, look, I think we've always got to be vigilant. Violence and property destruction, no matter who's doing it, whether it was one of the groups, or individuals last summer in Little Rock, or whether it's some other group, it doesn't matter. That's not how our country functions. It's not how it's intended to function. We fight over ideas. We do it through our politics. Violence doesn't solve anything. And, and destruction of property doesn't either. It actually weakens us. It weakens us around the world. It invites attacks from our adversaries. It makes us look like we're not the example that we've always been. So make no mistake about it. People who are committing violence, people who are acting like fools and are violent criminals, and they're doing nothing but hurting this country, whether it's extreme on the left, extreme on the right, my third cousin, whatever. I don't care. It's completely unacceptable, and we should not tolerate it one whit.
We've been talking with Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin, and Tim, thank you as always talking with us here on Open Mic, especially on this Inauguration Day.
God bless you. God bless this country, and I appreciate you. Be safe, and if anybody needs anything from me, give me a ring. Most of you have my cell phone, 501-837-5190, same one I've had for 10 years. God bless you.